Hi, I'm Deborah Band, the artist and author of Kabbalat Shabbat, The Grand Unification. And as the book approaches publication in September of 2016, I'm doing a series of little videos to share some of the wonderful paintings and thoughts and poetry within it. Right now, I'd like to share with you my paintings of the traditional Sabbath table song, Dror Yikra, or as my colleague Ray Shendlin has translated it, He Calls to Freedom. Americans know this phrase from Leviticus 25:10 by another translation, Proclaim liberty throughout the land, engraved, of course, on the Liberty Bell. The poem is by the famous 10th century Spanish Jewish or Sephardic poet and scholar, Dunash ben Labrat, who also wrote some really beautiful good life poetry. We even have a love poem his wife wrote him, preserved in the Cairo Geniza. Anyhow, Dunash included his own name in an acrostic at the beginnings of each line of the first, second, and sixth stanzas. You'll see it in the Hebrew. In this poem, though, instead of writing about birds twittering in the trees and splashing fountains, he's telling us how true freedom will be found in divine salvation when Jerusalem will be restored. Now, it's a particularly fun song to sing these days. There are loads of melodies for all of the Shabbat Zmirot or table songs, but a popular one nowadays in the communities I've lived in is adopted from, of all things, the Beach Boys' Sloop John B. Not a whole lot to do with Shabbat, of course, but lots of fun to sing. Dunash compares God's redemption of the Jews to a splendid grapevine. Jewish tradition inaugurates not only the Sabbath, but nearly every other sacred moment, including weddings, with blessings over wine. And in several places in the Bible, especially Isaiah, grapevines symbolize the rebirth of the Davidic dynasty and Israel's redemption. And in Jewish mystical tradition, by observing Shabbat, every Jew actively participates in bringing about divine redemption and restoring order to the broken universe. In these paintings, I show flourishing grapevines growing up through a harp, which of course was King David's own instrument, and a crown representing the dynasty. The vine's trunks and tendrils wrap around strong wooden pillars. Now, the pillars. These have a special meaning to me. These are actually the balusters surrounding the bima of Bevis Mark Synagogue in London, the first synagogue built in Great Britain following the return of the Jews to England in the 17th century. I particularly love this place and, in fact, sketched those balusters there. It's a landmark of the London Jewish community of which my family has been a part for over a century. And I had the pleasure of accompanying my uncle to its 300th anniversary celebration in 2001. In these paintings, though, Bevis Marks bears a special symbolic meaning. Its oldest continually operating synagogue in Europe, a new home for the Sephardic community following its traumatic expulsion from Spain, this elegant synagogue reminds us of Israel's enduring ability to persevere and restore itself in the wake of oppression. There's much more commentary, incidentally, both on the text, the poem, and the symbolism of the paintings in the book Kabbalat Shabbat, The Grand Unification, that's appearing in September 2016. And in the meantime, I really hope you've enjoyed this little taste. The book will be available on Amazon and in bookstores, and you can also order it from the webpage that you see on the screen. Enjoy!